This $3 million will be split between Mom and me right after my dad's funeral. My husband, who looked at the documents of inheritance without my permission, told me so. Don't get greedy, he said. Finally, I can quit my job. We should thank that old geezer. Old geezer? Are you talking about my dad? Oops, slipped my tongue. Anyway, once you get the inheritance, put it in our joint account ASAP. While I was in shock, my husband and Mill were getting excited about what car to buy and what they wanted. At that moment, I reached my limit. They push all the chores on me, mooch off my money, and now insult my dad. I don't need a husband and Mill like this anymore. Suppressing my anger, I smiled and said, "Yes, please use the money however you like. My name is Alice. I'm a 38-year-old working wife. Both of my parents were doctors and ran a popular clinic in our hometown. As an only child, I was doted on growing up. After graduating from the School of Pharmacy, I got a job at a major pharmaceutical company. Although my parents were disappointed that I didn't become a doctor, they soon supported my choice. We continued to have family meals and remain close. But 10 years ago, my mother died in an accident. She was only in her 50s. This sudden loss left me distraught. My father was also deeply affected and closed the clinic for a while. Supporting me through that tough time was my then boyfriend, Alex. We met through a mutual friend during my grief. Alex's constant support helped me recover. 2 years after losing my mom, Alex proposed, and I immediately said yes. Alex was an ordinary office worker at a small food company. To be honest, I earned much more than he did, but that never bothered me at all. I felt we could support each other no matter what happens. I believed we'd have a happy marriage. My father was delighted with the news of our marriage. "Alex, I heard you supported her through her mother's passing." "I'm grateful. Please take care of Alice," he said, smiling warmly. Alex teared up and replied, "I'll make her happy." I watched that scene, feeling so happy. In the following week, we visited Alex's home to announce our marriage. His parents had divorced when he was a child, so now it was just Mill. When I first met her, she was more flashy and heavily made up than I expected. "So, you're Alex's fiancée, huh?" Mill looked me up and down as if evaluating me and continued, "Alex, isn't she a bit plain and she is older than you, right? Wouldn't a younger, prettier girl be better?" Before I could react, Alex quickly answered, "Mom, Alice works for the big pharma company, and her dad's a doctor." I thought you would praise my personality. It felt like the only semblance of appreciation came from my money. Hearing this, Mill's face lit up. "Oh, Alex, you should have told me sooner. That changes everything. Alice, I approve of your marriage, thank you." After Mill approved our marriage, Alex said happily, "That's great." But I felt uneasy. And so, we got married. Just before our wedding, my dad, who also invested in real estate, gave us a luxury condo in New York as a wedding gift. The condo was in my name. I told Alex, even though Dad gave us this condo, it's our home. Let's live happily here. Alex smiled happily. That's how our married life began. I soon realized that Alex, who had always lived at home, had almost no skills in household chores. He couldn't cook, didn't know how to use the washer, and didn't even try to learn. He wouldn't even throw his trash in the bin. As someone who likes to keep things tidy, this frustrated me. For the first year, I did all the chores, still in newlywed bliss. But eventually, my work life caught up with me. I decided to talk to him seriously in our second year of marriage. He said, "I'm tired from work too, you're better at chores, so you should do them." He continued to avoid housework. Moreover, that wasn't the only problem. After we got married, I realized Mill was also difficult. Alex wasn't interested in special occasions, so I could tell. Nice scarf and carnations formality on Mother's Day. Mill called a while later, Thinking it might be a thank you call, I answered. But Mill spoke with an irritated tone. Alice, what's with the Mother's Day gift? I sent a cashmere scarf. How to send a no-name brand? Yes, it wasn't a famous brand, but it cost over $200. I tried to explain, but Mill wouldn't listen. I don't want anything so plain. If it was from that brand, I'd accept it. The brand she mentioned is one of the world's top luxury brands. A scarf from there would cost over $1,000. I'm sorry, that's a bit much for us, I said. Mill scoffed. Then just send me cash for Mother's Day, at least $500. $500? Yes, and $1,000 from my birthday, got it? Mill demanded. I told Alex about it, and he said, just do what Mom says, consider it filial piety. From then on, we gave Mill the cash she demanded. From our 5th year of marriage, Mill started visiting us frequently to ask for money. Each time, Alex gave her money with a smile, though I worked too. Alex's income was low. I had to dip into my savings. I felt frustrated but endured it. After all, Alex supported me when Mom died, and we vowed to be together for life. Mill is his mother, after all. I kept telling myself that. Now, in our 6th year of marriage, I'm still doing all the housework and often giving money to Mill. One day, my dad called me unexpectedly. The news he shared was shocking. He had terminal cancer, and there was nothing more they could do. As I cried, Dad said, "It's fate, we must accept it." So, in addition to work and household chores, I began visiting Dad in the hospital. My job was rather flexible, but the real issue was at home. When I told Alex about caring for Dad, he offered no help. Well, it's tough, but do your best. He only visited Dad once in the hospital. At that time, I was so focused on Dad I couldn't think about Alex. Any spare moment I wanted to spend thinking about Dad. One day, Dad asked me, "Alice, how's your marriage going?" Huh? Well, I thought of Alex's behavior and Mill, giving a hesitant reply. Dad seemed to understand and said, "Alice, you should choose your own happiness. You won't be in need after I'm gone." Dad, I cried in front of Dad, and he held my hand tightly. 3 months later, the time came. Dad passed away all too easily. Despite my grief, I arranged the funeral. Alex didn't help at all, but I was too busy to deal with him. Many mourners attended the funeral, and it was a good service. Alex and Mill also attended. The day after the funeral, I received a call. It was the lawyer about Dad's estate. I met the lawyer and got the details. The news was astonishing. Even after taxes, Dad's estate was worth over $3 million. That's because, besides his income as a doctor, he had also invested. Dad left everything to me, his only daughter. Shaking from the amount, I completed the paperwork. I looked over the documents at home. Exhaustion washed over me, and I fell asleep on the couch. I woke up to Alex and Mill's excited voices. "Alex, Mill, why are you here?" When I spoke, Alex turned to me with shining eyes. "Alice, you did it." I was shocked. Alex held the inheritance documents from the lawyer. "Hey, why are you looking at those without my permission?" Before I could scold him, Mill interrupted. $3 million is amazing, we're set for life." What? I was confused. Then Alex turned serious. "This $3 million will be split, that we, Mom and me." What? Don't get greedy. Finally, I can quit my job. We should thank that old geezer. Old geezer? You mean my dad? Oops, slipped my tongue. Anyway, once you get the inheritance, put it in our joint account ASAP. While I stood in shock, Alex and Mill were excitedly talking about what car to buy and what they wanted. At that moment, I reached my limit. They push all the chores on me, mooch off my money, and now insult my dad. I don't need a husband and Mill like this anymore. Suppressing my anger, I smiled and said, yes, please use the money however you like. Mill, satisfied, said, good, now you keep working, we don't want to deplete this savings. I just nodded. Mill's words echoed. From the next day, Alex and Mill started spending money like water. Alex quit his job quickly, and Mill moved in. They would go out every morning, returning with bags from luxury brands. Today's 3-star restaurant was SOSO for us celebs, it was a bit lacking. They talked like that while treating me like a maid. Alex, expecting the inheritance soon, started withdrawing money from our joint account. The $100,000 savings were quickly depleting. When I scolded him, he said, what's the big deal? We'll get $3 million soon. I warned him, but Alex didn't listen. A month later, Alex and Mill went on a trip to Hawaii. Of course, I wasn't even invited. After they left, I started taking action right away. A week later, as I was relaxing at home, there was a loud knock on the door. Looking through the intercom, I saw Alex and Mill in aloha shirts. What do you want? I said in a cold voice. Alex shouted, what are you saying? The door won't open. I changed the locks, of course, it won't open for you. What? Why? I told confused Alex and Mill through the intercom, let's start at the nearby cafe. I'll be there soon. They yelled but soon left. After confirming they left, I went to the cafe. When I arrived, Alex and Mill were waiting with angry faces. Hey, why did you change the locks? Give us the new key. There is no need. Looking straight at them, I quietly said, you two need to leave the house. As Alex glared at me, I handed him a paper. It was a signed divorce registration. A divorce? You want to divorce me? Mill's eyes widened in shock. What are you saying all of a sudden? I curtly replied to them. By the way, are you sure about the money? What money? Alex responded, spitting as he spoke. We're fine because your dad's inheritance is coming, plus there should be $50,000 left in the joint account. Look, I'll show you. Alex opened the banking app on his phone. The next moment, his face turned to shock. What is this? There's no money. Mill looked at the screen too, bewildered. Of course not, I moved the $50,000 to my account as part of the divorce settlement. What? We're getting divorced, so it's only right to split the marital assets. When I said this, Alex's eyes narrowed. Then he smirked. Fine, I'll divorce you, but hurry up and transfer your inheritance. We have to split any assets gained during the marriage. Are you misunderstanding something? My inheritance from my dad isn't part of the marital assets to be divided. There was a moment of silence. They actually thought they could claim my inheritance. I sighed in disbelief. That's impossible, Milt shouted with her face in red. Why don't you check? I said coldly, and Alex started looking it up on his phone. It says inheritance received by one spouse is considered separate property and not subject to division. What? Alex and Mill were stunned. Then Alex suddenly pleaded with me, Alice, don't divorce me. I have no savings, and I can't live if we do divorce. I cut him off sharply. Don't be ridiculous. Take responsibility for your actions. I won't forget what you did to me. I'll divorce you, even if I have to go to court. Shocked by my rebuff, Alex and Mill shrank back, whimpering. I left them and walked out of the cafe. Later, my divorce from Alex was finalized. The $50,000 I moved was recognized as part of this settlement, and I was able to evict Alex and Mill from my home. Alex, having spent the divorce settlement already, ended up penniless after the divorce. He was then hit with bills for the overseas trips and other expenses on his credit card. In the end, Alex and Mill had to borrow money to pay off the debt and now live in a shabby apartment, working hard to repay it. As for me, I sold the condo where I lived with Alex and moved into my dad's old condo. I continued my job, but with my dad's inheritance, I had no financial worries. From now on, I will live each day with gratitude to my late father. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed this video, and if you're curious to see where this journey takes us next, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss a single update. Your support is what keeps this channel alive and kicking, and every like, comment, and share means the world to us. We've got plenty more stories, insights, and surprises coming your way, so stay tuned for the next video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.